If today you decided you want to get fit, you put your running shoes on, you went outside and you just ran as fast as you could for 2 hours to exhaustion with all your speed and might and willpower, well, you will lose 0 pounds and your body will look exactly the same. Gosh, what a deliberately obtuse, bad faith argument against going for a run, an activity that's almost universally seen as positive. It reminds me of that other one in which you buy a $100 raised bed, $100 in soil, seeds, tools, plus untold hours of your valuable time, all so that you might grow a tomato valued at 50 cents. Or how if you spend half a paycheck on groceries, 2 hours cooking, and 1 hour cleaning up, you might make a meal that's almost as good as Applebee's. All of these statements are true, and even worse, they're pretty compelling when they're pointed at short-sighted beginners. But the biggest hole that you can blow in them, aside from you might have fun doing it, is, starting something new is not very rewarding until you develop a sense of skill. You don't do it for instant gratification. My audience consists mainly of well-adjusted adults. I know half of you are rolling your eyes like, thanks, but I don't need a lesson on delayed gratification. But here on the back end, I still get comments like, you do realize that cooking out is cheaper than cooking at home, right? I pray that this plea finds its way to the right people by means of it being shared with younger family members or posted in response to short-sighted arguments. And if it does, hello, my dear viewer. I posted a library of lessons right here on youtube.com to help you on your journey. Please enjoy learning how to cook. It's at this point that you surely must be thinking, where is he going with all of this? And to be honest, I do not know. That's the problem with the dozens of half-baked scripts that I write without finishing. I accumulate all of this one-off debris and detritus like the half-baked rant that you just heard until there's enough to clump it all together into another little anthology. Please enjoy this classic old man yells at cloud type video where I post some strongly held opinions and beliefs regarding food, cooking, and eating. Cooking is an art, and baking is a science. Both are art and both are science. Sure, your baked goods will come out more reliably if you measure your flour in grams, not cups, but that's just as true of the salt in your soup. In fact, I think every hobby and every interest is both art and science. I hate that little slogan, cooking is art and baking is science. There's nothing you can do with that information. The correct answer to how do you like your steak is medium rare, right? Every alpha dog carnivore knows that. Except the real correct response to how do you like your steak is which steak? You cook chicken thighs more than chicken breast because thighs have more fat. You cook ribeyes more than tenderloin for the same reason. A cut with lots of well-marbled fat can handle more cooking and will taste better when the fat is rendered down properly. A filet mignon, however, can be cooked blue rare since there's so little fat. Any amount of cooking only makes the cut less tender. I want a skirt steak medium or even medium well, lest I aim to gnaw upon each bite of carne asada taco. Social media may have you believe that the best establishments are worth suffering for, that the best barbecue requires a 5-hour-long wait in line, or that the coolest bars should be hidden behind facades and guarded with a password. Whether it's a bar, a restaurant, or a local retailer, the part that attracts me is the hospitality. The sense of someone setting up shop and saying, I've got something I want to show you, something I want to share, and if you come pay for what I'm putting out there, I will do my best to make you feel welcomed. The hospitality industry is already built on a foundation of razor-thin margins and overworked, underpaid employees. So if we make that even worse by also making the customer suffer, who's even winning anymore? This last one is the big one. I feel bad for anyone who wants to learn how to cook via social media because there's this true yet inescapable assertion that anything you make could have been made better. Imagine you're focused on eating within a tight budget. You eat chicken at El Pollo Loco, you know you can make that for half the price at home, right? Okay, I'll go buy some chicken breasts and cook it myself. You know thighs are actually even cheaper, right? Actually, what you should do is buy whole chickens and then butcher them yourself. Paying someone to break a hen down for you is a total scam. Even better if you buy them in bulk, 5 birds at a time. Actually, while you're at Costco, better to buy rotisserie chickens there since it's a loss leader item, and before you know it, you've circled back around to eating pre-made food, not even cooking anymore. Be aware that social media runs on extremes and you do not have to min-max for anything in the kitchen, be it price, efficiency, or flavor. However you define the word better, the food can always be better. I've been told there's a good amount of overlap in my audience between myself and Twitch streamer Northern Lion, which I never fully understood until I saw this clip.
We have to normalize not every single meal being optimized to be the greatest possible version of the meal. I don't think that every meal should be Soylent and it should just be hey, here's a complete nutritional profile, but bringing up any food and the first comment being someone online being like, you could have that food more optimally. Will society at large ever get sick of having the same conversation over and over and over?
Imagine a box of Kraft instant mac and cheese. Follow the instructions on the box. It could be better. Instead, boil the pasta, drain it, and then make a sauce with the cheese packet and milk, not water. Add butter to help the emulsion. It could still be better. Undercook the pasta on purpose, then finish cooking the noodles in that simmering sauce to achieve an al dente texture in a beautifully emulsified cheese sauce. Then finish it with freshly grated Parmigiano Reggiano. It could still be better. Swap that boxed macaroni product for a pasta that's been bronze die cut, which provides a rougher, starchier texture that clings to the sauce more effectively. Make a cheese sauce from scratch. Upgrade the finishing touch from regular degular parm to the 24-month aged variety. It never ends. And whether you're primarily after quality or speed or clout or any combination of the many reasons why people cook, you do at some point have to decide what's good enough. And I don't want the words good enough to make it sound like you're settling. If I had to make pan con tomate in a high-effort, nice presentation sort of way, I would take the tomato and scoop out the seeds and gel. That way, when I grate the flesh, it's less watery, more flavorful. I'd season that grated tomato and spoon it over slices of bread that were freshly toasted in garlic-infused olive oil. But most of the time, pan con tomate is a rustic, bucolic snack that I prepare simply, by choice. I use day-old bread. I toast it and scrape a garlic clove onto the gritty face. I don't worry about excess water content because I want tomato water to seep into the crunchy bread and soften it. If the mac and cheese example was a case of always being able to justify more effort, let pan con tomate serve as justification for less. I think one of the most impactful cooking videos of 2025 was Chris Young's pressure cooker chicken stock. It could have languished in the sea of hundreds of other pressure cooker chicken stock videos, but it excelled, partially because the high production value and storied experience of the host both communicated proof that Michelin star chicken stock can be made at home in just 1 hour. When I make pressure cooker chicken stock, I'm not going for a Michelin star. I make it because I finished eating a chicken and I have a carcass left over. I don't personally buy whole chickens just to make stock out of them. My goal with stock making is typically twofold. 1, make something better than anything I can get at the grocery store, and 2, make it for as close to free as possible. Someone out there will always have a better way to cook your dish because every cook has a different set of standards and limitations for every dish. That's not a problematic facet of cooking until you feel compelled to impose your standards and limitations onto other people, especially when they're cooking and you're commenting.
Treat posting a recipe the exact same way you would treat posting code. Know that when you're posting it, people are going to just go through and pick at it and try to find like the one thing that's wrong that you could change. I'm not like, they're cooking in their mind, hypothetically. They're like, well, if I made it, here's what I would do. I am, on the other hand, just sitting on my ass right now.
Based on aforementioned audience insights, there's a 15% chance that you've heard this one already, but to the man who comments on cooking media more than he actually cooks, I regret to retort, hey, give your nose a squeak for me and tell me what you hear. Get it twisted. Trade has paid to be mentioned at the end of this video. Guess how many times I get the same exact bag of coffee in a row? The answer is 0. I've entrusted my choices entirely to Trade because they've built a profile on my preferences over the years. Whatever they suggest, we both know I'm gonna like it. Trade has spent more than a decade building relationships with over 55 top roasters across the US, so subscribers get access to coffees that they would not otherwise find in the grocery store. The coffee is sold at prices that are comparable to grocery brands, but with the actual cafe-level quality that you get from having beans that were roasted right before getting sent your way. By the time the beans get to your door, it's at that perfect sweet spot where the beans have been roasted and left to mellow out for a few days in transit. I get medium roast whole bean coffee every 10 days, and I like that whenever we have visitors in town, they notice how good our coffee is at home. I also like how every time I post a picture of my coffee haul to social media, someone's in my DMs saying, hey, that's our local brand from our local town. Neat. Right now, Trade is offering up to 40% off your first order at drinktrade.com/Shaquille. That's drinktrade.com/Shaquille to get up to 40% off of your first order. drinktrade.com/Shaquille.